So kind of a work-life balance question for you three. During your career transition, how did you find time to study given your hectic schedule? And anyone can tackle that one first.
I can go. Yeah, so when I decided to kind of make the jump into the Salesforce ecosystem, I was working full time. So for me, it was very much like in the evenings and on the weekends. It kind of took up my whole time, I will say. My husband was very gracious during that time, and my kids were cheering me on every time that I took a test. But, I think for me, it was really what was a priority for me. And you just kind of have to decide where you're at in your life at that point in time. Like what can you take on? And what are you able to do is something that I, set a deadline for being able to apply for the fellowship program. And I just went for it. Was it fun? Not always. It was a lot of studying, but if you're committed and if you want it, you will make the time to be able to get there.
Yeah, that's a great point. And to kind of restate what you said, find those support networks that exist for you, whatever that looks like. For you, Geralyn, it was your family. And, for some of you, it may be your family, but you may not have close family members. And so in that case, leverage the Trailblazer community to be able to provide that support and that motivation to study. Someone brought up Merivis earlier. Merivis is a nonprofit that not only do they provide you with training and education and job resources, but they also have a large community of others that can help motivate you to study, keep you on your study path, that you can use for your support network. So whatever that looks like for you, find those folks and use them to help motivate you and get you down that path. Anni or Tim, did you want to talk about kind of your study schedule?
Well, I used Wounded Warrior program. My husband is disabled, and we were going through that. He was using it because he was looking at transitioning back into the workforce. He'd been a stay-at-home dad since he got out in 2015. And same month I got my degrees. I graduated when we switched roles. He got some firsts for a change, and I got to skip things for a change. So, while I was still working, I made a decision that family time was at dinner. We all cooked together. Meals are a big thing for us. They can last 2 hours easily. But then afterwards, while everybody else was watching movies or goofing off or hopefully doing homework, I was doing homework too. I had a certain number of modules I wanted to do. I had a certain number of people on LinkedIn I wanted to connect with and reach out to. I had virtual events to look and search for, right? So I was spending that. Then when I quit, my job to me was getting a new job. So that's becoming an expert in how to do that. And that just meant more of all of that. So instead of 2 hours, I was spending 9 or 10 hours a day doing that. I was putting in a minimum of 1 application a day, and that means you are tailoring it, right? I was working on my master resume. For me, I have what I call a transitioning trifecta. It's my education. So I was doing studying of some kind every single day. I have my board of that's what I call it. It's right? Every company has a board of members. Well, I have one for myself, and I don't want yes men. I want people who are going to be honest with me and tell me what I really need to hear, right? With me guiding my ship, right? I want to go into IT, so I was finding mentors to help me with that. And then my master resume, which was looking at every single job posting from janitor to the vice president of a company and seeing what those job descriptions were and pulling that information into my master resume of things I have done. Because when I go to do my resume and tailor it for that specific job, it takes me 15 minutes and I'm done and I apply. So many days I was applying to more than one, but I had a minimum of 1 I did every single day. I was looking for support in my community. We have a lot of different programs. Hiring Our Heroes, Wounded Warrior program, Merivis, I'm forgetting somebody, Veriterati. You have employment centers in your community. Goodwill has programs that go on for military and for non-military. Somebody has created a program out there because they know somebody who needed it and didn't have it. You should be seeking those out. Look for them. They are everywhere. there is so much support for you that there is no excuse not to get it.
Those are great points. And I wanted to kind of foot stomp on something you said, which is the board of you. So if you haven't heard that term before, it's called by different names. I call it my brain trust, but it's essentially, it's a small, close-knit group of mentors that you reach out to and you assemble either individually, one at a time, or sometimes all together during the same meeting. And you bounce ideas off, and you have, whatever those questions are, whether they're personal, whether they're professional. In my case, they're professional. And it's a trusted, group of folks that you can get expert advice from. And so throughout your career, you should be building that board of you, or that brain trust for those members, so that when you have those tough career decisions, like, do I apply for this promotion, or should I accept this, or should I do that? You can bounce it off them, get a second opinion, and that will help you throughout your professional life. Great point. Tim, over to you. And then we'll get to Kathleen and then Tricia and Tyler.
Yeah, I was pretty fortunate. When I was going through the process, my replacement had come. So my last week of my actual work, my replacement was there. Was my first week of, my third week of Merivis, kind of getting an intensive week. So I was lucky enough to kind of have that time off. So I didn't really have a lot of pressure as far as, work, or, hey, I got to find a job. And then my number one enabler was my wife. She squirreled the kids away, and she held it down because, as you and Elio kind of know, my new job was Salesforce and everything kind of that Annie mentioned, that, hey, networking, branding, technical expertise, trying to get that work experience is any way I could. And I was doing that. I went from, working unhealthy work-life balance, in my job in the military, to doing that. It was, anywhere from 9 to 11 hours a day, 7 days a week. And that's how, that in that short, really 3-month period when I got, the 2 certs and the 3 times Ranger, because that was my job, and that's what I was doing. If I wasn't studying, I was talking to somebody. If I wasn't talking to somebody, I was plotting or researching or something. So yeah, from the perspective of managing, balancing, I was really lucky, but I just dove in head first, and my timing was, I just got lucky.
Yeah, but to your point, Tim, it absolutely is a second job, and that's how you should treat it, right? So searching for your career, even if you're in your current career, is going to take a significant amount of time, and you have to treat it like that second job. And so some folks will have the benefit of not having, like Tim had some free time, and he put all that into his professional development. Some people won't have that, but I think the unifying factor among Geralyn and Annie and Tim was that find some time to carve out every single day and make that your study time, make that your professional development time. And not only will that help you with the transition, it will help you throughout your career.